Good afternoon. I'm Beth Zimmerman, the Director of Disaster Operations here at FEMA. We're coming to you today from our National Response Coordination Center. We wanted to share an update with you on Hurricane Matthew. And I'd like to start first with my friend and coworker, Daniel Porter from the National Weather Service. He's going to give us a brief update on Hurricane Matthew.
Well,
Daniel.
Thank you, Beth. And as you know, we're tracking Hurricane Matthew. It is just off the coast of South Carolina, and it will continue to parallel the coasts of South Carolina and North Carolina for the next 24 hours. So we're not out of the woods with respect to this storm. We still anticipate tropical storm, possibly hurricane force winds along the immediate coast, and that will still continue to produce the threat for coastal flooding across the area, particularly across areas from, let's say, South Carolina up to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. In addition to that, Beth, we are now transitioning to a heavy rainfall threat across the Carolinas, particularly from along I-95 and areas eastward. We've already had reports of over 15 inches of rain across portions of coastal South Carolina. We've already seen significant flash flooding across these areas. Not only will we experience flash flood threats for the next, let's say, 24 hours or so, but this will also transition into a significant river flood threat, where some of these locations could exceed major or even possibly record flooding across portions of the eastern Carolinas. And in fact, this threat will most likely continue into the middle to latter portion of the upcoming week. So even though Hurricane Matthew continues to weaken and makes its way out into the Atlantic Ocean, we will see impacts across portions of the Carolinas for several more days. So folks should stay attuned to the latest forecast from the National Weather Service, from your local weather forecast office. You can do that by going to weather.gov or even paying attention to your NOAA weather radio to get the latest updates. Also, remember that most of the flash flood fatalities occur with people driving through flooded waters. So if you happen to see flooded waters, remember to turn around and don't drown. So that's the latest update, Beth.
Thank you, Daniel, and I appreciate that. Remember that, turn around, don't drown. A little update here from FEMA. We started out this week as we were preparing for Hurricane Matthew coming up the East Coast. We started out with sending resources, both personnel and commodities, food, water, shelter supplies, into those states that we knew might be impacted. We knew we needed to get there ahead of the storms, because if we don't, we're going to be behind the curve. So we wanted to make sure we were there in support of the governors in those local communities that could potentially be impacted by the disaster. So we have been doing our work. We have had our resources there. We've been watching it. They have the resources that they need. Looking at the sheltering, today we've been receiving the reports as far as the number of people that have been impacted, the power outages, and those other things that people have been looking at to make sure that they're safe. Our number one thing right now is that life safety. Make sure if people needed to be rescued, flash floods. We need to make sure people do not drive into it, that they evacuate their homes. Still pay attention. A lot of people think because Hurricane Matthew has moved out into the Atlantic that all of the issues that they might be faced with are gone, but that's not true. As Daniel had mentioned, it's really that the floodwaters, the rains that are still impacting those states, and what can really happen. So even if you think you're in a safe spot, you need to be able to watch and to be able to make sure that you're okay. One of the other things, as well as the app that Daniel mentioned, is the FEMA app. So if you go on to FEMA.gov and download the app, that's very important. It'll give you the weather alerts. It will connect you. If you are somebody and you need to have a shelter, they're on there. You can find your local shelter location. You can go there for a safe and secure environment so that you can be taken care of if your home has been impacted, or if you can't get back to your home because the roads have been closed. So please pay attention to your local authorities. Do what they ask. They're doing it to save your life. As we note, you can replace your things. You cannot replace a life. So we want everybody to really take care of themselves and be safe. Stay out of harm's way. And when it comes to time to go back into your homes, to go see what has happened, please be safe. Look for down power lines. Stay out of the water. Keep your kids safe. I know there's a lot of temptation there for people to go out and to see out there. So everybody, please stay tuned to your local weather stations, your local news, so that you know what's going on. Pay attention to those authorities, and we appreciate you taking the time to listen to Daniel and I. Daniel, thank you very much for being here. We will continue to be here at FEMA, taking care of this storm and supporting those states until it's no longer needed. Thanks, everyone.